Hi, good evening. Hi, good evening,
Hey,
and happy Jute Week to everyone. My name is Fabian Norville. I'm the Secretary Treasurer of the award here in Barbados. I am usually the main point of contact um, at the award office. Now, this evening, we are just going to be here to, have a few of our alumni come and share about their experiences as award participants and volunteers. These experiences have taken them regionally, internationally, and in one case to Buckingham Palace. We're just waiting for another one of our panelists to join us now. Um, but during these conversations, you are welcome to post any questions about the award in the chat. Of course, if you have any stories you wish to share, we'd love to hear from you. You can always post them as well. Um, so with us right now is Jamar Odwin. He is a silver and gold award holder, deputy chair of the National Award Council, and emerging leader representative for the Americas region. He also operates his own brand of lifestyle wear. You could say a good leaving to Jamar.
hey, good evening, everyone. Thanks for having me, Fabian.
Okay. All right. So while we wait for our other guests, one second. All right. Um, Full disclosure, Jamar and I would have been part of the award at the same time at one point. Um, we would have pretty much met at the 2013 Regional Hike and Camp here in Barbados. Um, I guess we could always start there. Jamar, why don't you share with us what you recall from that experience?
Well, it was an interesting experience, that's for sure. I remember, I think it was our prelim hike that took us through LaSalle's Gully.
Mm-hmm.
You would have been on that hike, right, Fabian? They went to LaSalle's Gully. I think we were supposed to take about an hour through LaSalle's Gully. For those who don't know, that's the gully that runs from the area of St. Thomas Parish Church down to Lime Grove. I think we were supposed to be there for estimated hour or so. It took us about 4 hours. Not because we weren't capable, but I think that was just after a hurricane had hit. So that was an interesting prelim journey. But 2013, I think that was the experience where I lost two toenails. I think that was 2013 too.
Yeah,
That
well,
was something. Yep. But I don't think I don't have any regrets as it relates to my journey so far. Pains and
I
all.
mean that would have been, of course, it would have been our regional camp, so there would have been a lot of persons coming into the island. Um, And I'm sure that there were, a few persons who left some interesting memories. I don't know if you wanted to discuss those as well.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, especially those from like Bahamas and Cayman Islands, they come with the idea that Barbados is flat. A lot of persons tend to think Barbados is flat, but after hiking in Barbados, the thought is changed. Barbados is not as mountainous as maybe let's say Trinidad or Saint Lucia, but it's definitely not flat. I remember Daniel from Bahamas, uh, and for our project, we recorded videos, and there's a part in it where he actually does exclaim that Barbados is definitely not flat.
It's an interesting note. See that Leah has joined us from Trinidad. I
Hey,
hope
Leah.
you're doing well. And yes, we do miss you as well. Hope to see you soon. Um,
I think Leah would actually have been here for CAS in 2013 too.
Correct. I'm sure she has her own experiences on that one. Um, let's see.
Yeah, Leah would have been in my group at CAS. Yeah.
And let's see here. Yes, Dario's here too. I'm actually looking to see if I can have him join on the panel. So, um, and of course, here he comes now. That's Dario.
Good evening.
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Not too bad. Okay, so for our guest here, we have here now Dario Harewood, also a gold award holder and a member of our local expedition panel. Currently, he is in Canada studying forensic toxicology. Um, so I'm sure he has plenty of
Finished.
experience.
Finished.
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 Very true. Congratulations on that for us. Yes, please.
Thank you.
So, all right. So we were actually just discussing CAS 2013. I don't know if you have any experiences from that you want to share.
All the fun times. Fun times. Fun times. Yeah, fun. Cast 2013. That was an experience. Jamar, you remember all the water? The first day.
Well, fortunately for me, that was the one day that my group was not behind. We experienced the rain, but we didn't have the Vim Gully at all.
I didn't do the gully. We started out. I think it started when we left St. David's. The rain fell the entire day.
Yeah, I remember that because
All the silver groups that was on the road get paid the entire day.
yeah, I remember the feeling of the water flowing through my sneakers. It was crazy, man.
Yep. No, imagine going up Station Hill, up to District C with water coming down that hill.
Let's
But
not
fun.
talk about gullies. For me, that rain caught me in Wim Gully, and it was up to my
You-
neck. So
Or you was
sorry.
you was in the one when they take the pictures and in between them the water level was rising really fast.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Mm,
That was an interesting experience, but I guess in hindsight, you might say that it was fun. But of course, at that point in time, it wasn't so much. But
it
it's
wasn't
it's
nope,
one of
it's
those
not
things
fun
that you
forever.
can
We
laugh
we
at
could look back
after.
and say
exactly.
after the fact.
Okay. Um, but other than that, Dario, if I recall, you would have been a parish ambassador during that same year. Um,
Yep, I
how
was.
was it like balancing the responsibilities of that role and pursuing the award?
Well, it wasn't only the two of those. I was actually still at UE at that same point in time. So I had to balance parish ambassadors, Duke, and UE. And being in the Faculty of Science and Technology meant that I had labs every week. So that was a task. Because for the parish ambassadors, I had my own project to deal with too. So let's just say there were many sleepless nights,
Look at you now
many
in
long
Canada studying, huh?
days. No, I done. I finished. I just got the official confirmation
Ah,
of my
okay.
distinction today.
Oh, look at that. You see,
Congratulations.
Huh?
from multitasking to distinction.
Yeah, yeah. All in a day's work.
Just got a comment here from Leah. Cast 2013 was great, challenging, but great. Lots of wonderful memories and challenging experiences that we learned so much from.
And
But
thanks to the
Dario,
Haitian crew.
Dario, would you say that experience prepared you for uh the point where you are no, well, just finished in terms of your degree?
Yeah, because you learn a lot, like the whole time management skills, leadership skills. Because we had projects for my masters, and automatically, for some reason, they always dubbed me the leader. For some reason, they always decide to put me as a leader. So the leadership skills, time management, because projects have to run on time and on budget too. So yeah, it helped to well, all of my degrees actually.
I see you're also receiving some congratulations from those watching as well.
Thank you.
Okay. Um, and of course, since then, we would have all completed our gold awards. Jamar, you would have received yours from Prince Edward. Dario, you would have in fact gotten years at Buckingham Palace. So how was it, for both each of you, in terms of, meeting a member of the royal family?
I'll let Dario go first since he has the better of the stories.
Well, mine was I was actually doing a lot of traveling that year because I think the award ceremony was shortly after I came back from Easter Vista. So I was off of one flight, and then a couple of weeks later I was on another one, heading to England. The ceremony itself was a huge ceremony. They actually had it on the grounds of Buckingham Palace. So as opposed to being on the outside looking in, I was on the inside looking out. And it was great because we actually it wasn't even just the award ceremony. So there were some meetings, so you got to meet people from all over the world. I met people from Indonesia, Tunisia. Up to this day, I actually still have friends from all over the world that I met when I went to Buckingham Palace to get the award.
Yeah. What about yourself, Jamar?
I'd say it's always interesting when you're engaging with a member of the royal family, especially because there's so much protocols that are in place. So it was an eye opener, and it's one of those things that as a recipient you're always looking forward to and hoping that you're presented with your award by a member of the royal family. So it's an experience that would definitely be it'd be remembered for quite a long time.
Yeah, one of the high
Okay.
points. That's actually one of the high points of the award. Just actually having them present you the gold award.
Yeah. I think we all agree on that one. Now, since then, you've all, continued within the award. You're both members of the Expedition and Assessment Panel. For those who are not aware, that would be the grouping that is pretty much responsible for training and assessment of adventurous journeys within the island. So this would be the hiking and camping component of the award. Um, could you provide some insight to what that looks like, both for yourselves as volunteers and for the participants?
I'll let you take this one, Jamar.
Well, as I always ask participants and encourage participants to continue beyond their particular levels, whether it be silver, whether it be gold, because if the persons before us didn't come back, give back to the award, a lot of us probably wouldn't be here. So it's one thing to achieve your award as a participant, but to be able to give back so future generations can achieve their award as well. There's something fantastic about it, especially when you see how participants grow, especially at CAS. They come as strangers, and then it's all tears 2 weeks later,
Yeah.
and you would not imagine that these persons would have just met a few weeks ago. So it's a fantastic experience to see the award from the level of a supervisor assessor.
And then you
That's good.
also get to see in the way when you start to give back, you actually get to see your participants grow themselves going through the levels. So you see the level of maturity would also change, the level of fitness would change, going from bronze all the way up to gold. So that for me, I actually like to see that, especially in this day and age where young people are always crying down young people. It's good to see that you can actually see the maturity increase in them.
Yeah, actually, I think it was up to this morning. I was telling someone about one of the groups that I assessed at CAS, and I'd never forget it was these two guys, one from St. Vincent and one from Guyana. You could not get them to do anything at the end of the hike. But as the assessor, I could not be upset because when you saw those guys on the hike, it was no man left behind, no man, no woman left behind, and the amount of work they put in to the team during the expedition, I could not be upset that they didn't want to cook or clean up when at the end of a particular day. It was crazy. they'd be walking with their own backpack on their back, a bag on top of that, and another bag in front, and still a participant in tow. It's always something amazing to see participants at CAS and how they come together.
Yep, CAS really brings out the togetherness when you get on the actual hike itself. So it doesn't matter if you don't get along on base camp, when you get onto that hike, if you say at the end of day one, you're gonna be good. Because I remember for CAS 2013, I didn't know Jamar, I didn't know anybody. They got dropped into the group, and Jamar would tell you by the end of day one, we were all together.
Yes, it's true.
Rain came down, we get soaked, but food get cooked, bro.
Yep.
Of course.
Food was good.
Mm-hmm.
Many pots that day.
I think
you just really see the bonding starts on the hike. You really see it on the hike.
I think that same expedition that we were on it, both of us were in a completely different group. Knew no one hadn't hiked with any of those persons before.
It is true.
But at the end of the day, there was one common goal.
The goal was gold.
Correct.
Exactly.
The goal was gold.
Right. And as you said, it's there. Everyone is still pretty much on good terms. Everyone's still friends. And I'm sure that if, let's say, that we had some reason to be in another island and we need assistance, we have no problem helping out each other.
Yeah, we're patiently waiting for Leah to be back in Barbados.
Yep. She was back here once, and I don't think we've seen her since then. Leah, where are you? You need to make yourself be seen again. Provided we're all on island.
Well, you never know. I mean, 2023 is almost upon
Right
us,
around
and
the corner.
we never know what may happen. No, that said, and Jamar, now she's stuck in Trinidad. Okay, so Jamar, you may be accustomed to this question, but what led to your selection as an emerging leader rep, and what opportunities have come out of the role?
Well, as you would remember, that was an experience how the emerging leader reps tended to be selected. It was a voting process prior to attending the International Gold event. But as persons watching would realize, our region is much more close knit than other regions. So when we got to Czech Republic, there was a tie. So there was no clear two persons selected to represent our region. So we had to vote again. I think we probably had about two or three ties in Czech Republic, and then it came to the point where the foundation, they said to us, we can either go through the entire process all over again, hopefully there's no tie, or they just select I think it was the top three persons involved in the ties. They wouldn't say how the tie was going, but they take out the three persons, and from those three, then everyone would vote to select the three. And I was fortunate to be one of the two selected. Since then, it has opened the doors to some amazing opportunities. I would have been able to design one of they call it discussion papers on the international level, but what we've come to realize is that papers really, it's a misleading term because it tends to be a pretty big stat whenever they say papers. But I was fortunate to design the discussion paper that was professionally printed. I don't even have a copy of mine here close to hand, but it was a fantastic project. Very interesting working in close proximity to a team in a different time zone, because pretty much when they were up and at it, I was in bed, and when I was up and at it, they were getting ready for bed. So it was a fantastic experience because you had to kind of find that bridge where the work was done so that by the time they got up on mornings, it was there, and to kind of sometimes try to be up beyond when you'd normally be in bed just to make those minor tweaks. For me, I'm not a person who likes to necessarily put everything in work on out there. But I remember being at one of the international events, and Lou from Canada made sure that everyone knew that the person who designed the book was there sitting down. And what can I say? It's been a fantastic experience since I've joined you.
Okay, congratulations on that front. Actually, we have one question from the audience. A really interesting one. So, I mean, given where y'all are, how have the skills learned in your award been able to transfer to other aspects of your life? Would you say it's possible that some things that you have learned within the award have actually helped direct the path that you're on outside of the award?
I would say
Definitely.
yes.
You can go ahead,
You go
Dario.
ahead, Jamar.
Mhm.
All right, so I would say yes, especially when it comes to attention to detail. Because in my field in forensics, you need to pay attention to detail. One wrong mistake could mean somebody's freedom is gone. So that attention to detail, and then also within the forensics process, timelines are key. So if let's say they need evidence processed in a couple of days, you have to get it done because that could mean you could cause somebody to lose a case. And as I said, people's freedom and liberties are at risk when it comes to my field. So that attention to detail has definitely helped along the way.
So all those things, planning for those hikes, and you know,
Yep,
knowing the difference
all the
between.
planning, making sure the root cards were good. Yep, even
Mhm.
in my thesis, I went over my thesis so many different times just to make sure that everything was on point and on par with everything.
Okay. Okay. What about yourself, Jamar?
Well, for me, I would have done actually an introduction to graphic design as one of my skills. I think that was my skill for silver, and now I'm actually a graphic designer by profession. So, what I would say is a lot of the times the skills that you learn that you take on during your different levels of the award can actually open your eyes to something that you may not have been thinking about as the field you want to go in professionally, or you may even develop a sport that you may not have been interested in at first. I did volleyball again as the sport for my silver, and then I went on to play volleyball at the club level. So you never know what you may take on after doing it during the award.
Actually kind of reminds me of another situation we have persons who would have learned sailing as part of the program, and now they are doing it both professionally, and they are actually mentoring others. So in a situation where one, the skill has that they've developed in the award has now turned into a business, and they're mentoring others. So their way of giving back as well. Um,
I
Leah
think,
actually made an
yeah.
interest. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I think Leah added something there as well.
Yeah, she did. She was suggesting that it does help with interpersonal skills and being able to work with others, being in difficult situations, especially on those journeys. And it helps with work ethic and time management. It helps to be more disciplined and moving towards a common goal. I think we can all agree with those comments. So thank you, Leah,
Definitely,
for that.
definitely.
All right. Um, so my last question then towards you all. What advice would you give to persons seeking to pursue the award or even considering options beyond the award framework?
Do it, do it, and go all the way. It's gonna benefit you in the long run. It may not look like it when you start, but believe me, trust and believe, it will benefit you in the long run. So do it.
Yep, second that.
Right. So glad to hear that. Now, thank you very much. There being any no other questions or at this point in time, I just want to add in one more person to the mix. So just 1 second, please. Okay. All right. Just see that Liam made a little comment there. Yep. All right, there we go. Hi there. All right.
Hi.
Just there. Just want to introduce Soca Artiste, singer-songwriter, Party Monarch, Road March winner, and a Gold Award holder, Miss Natalie Burke.
Hey.
Hey.
Hey,
Good night, everybody. Good night.
Hope you're doing well tonight.
Yes, I am. How's everybody doing?
All
Good,
right.
I'm
good.
good for now. Just tired of the cold.
Mm-hmm. Understood.
All right.
Sorry to
Now,
hear.
don't worry, he'll be back. I'm sure he'll try to make sure he's back here as soon as possible. It's
And absorb as much sunshine as possible. You know it.
Of
correct.
course, you should. Bottle some and take it back with you.
For sure. For sure.
Right. Now, Natalie, we would have had some, limited interactions leading up to this evening, but I could tell that
hmm
you were, very excited about your award experience. So perhaps you could tell us about yours.
Well, I joined Duke in should I age myself here? Why not? 1988, and we finished after sixth form, so that was 1992. I did my bronze here in Barbados. The silver was done in Grenada, and the gold was done in St. Lucia. Um, the reason why we did the silver in Grenada was because for some reason our assessor failed us here in Barbados. He shall remain anonymous for now. For some reason, we didn't meet the requirements for the silver here in Barbados, but it was wonderful to go to Grenada and do it there, and you know, the Juve experience was. I don't even know. I can't even put it into words how phenomenal a time that was in my life and in the lives of those who worked in Juke with me. It was a wonderful experience. I wouldn't trade it, and I say that all the time. They were some of the happiest moments in my life.
Okay. So perhaps yeah, we discussed St. Lucia, Grenada, which I guess would mostly have been the adventurous journey section.
Mhm.
What other areas you would have, pursued as part of the award in terms of the skill, the service, and the physical
Yes.
recreation?
In terms of the skills, I was part of the QC Karate Association.
Hmm.
Karate was one of the things that we did. Yes. And also we did swimming. Those were the two things that stand out in my mind the most: the swimming and the karate. And I mean, these are lifelong skills that we do in juke. They're invaluable. What we learn in juke and the activities in which we participate. These things are invaluable. In terms of service, I remember being in Grenada and we went to an old people's home and we actually we plaited the ladies' hair there. It was quite an experience, just to be able to go and talk to these elderly people and hear their stories and stuff like that. We also did some service here at the Almere home as well in Belleville. In Grenada as well, we had to go to Fort Frederick and yes, the famous or the infamous Fort Frederick and clean up the surroundings, clean up the surroundings there. All these things stand out in my mind as, you know, experiences that to me are very important for young people to have. Then you can give service and you can learn skills and then you can also do the expeditions and so on and learn and do map reading and stuff like that. I'm sure that some of my colleagues would have benefited from the map reading sessions and so on, because I know some of them went on to do geography and then they pursued careers in those areas. So there, I can't find another word other than invaluable for what we do in Duke.
I mean, that's excellent. I mean, you've given us one good example of how persons have transferred some of these skills in the adventure journey session into their own careers. But you would have also kind of spoken to the idea of some soft skills that would be also
Yeah.
beneficial even beyond that. So, perhaps you can expand on those?
Okay, you broke up there a little bit for me. I'm not quite sure if it's my
Uh,
connection. Can you just
I was
ask me
just
that
want,
again? Sorry.
so I was just wondering about any soft skills, anything that you might have picked up along the way as part of doing the program.
Well, I mean, you don't. The thing about it is that some of what we learn in Duke is retroactive, and we don't realize it. Like when I go to the beach, which is not very often, but when I do go to the beach, it's like you learn how to swim, and that's something that we need on an island. Everybody should know how to swim,
Hmm.
in terms of like karate and so on. I can still remember all of my katas without thinking about it, and I haven't done them in years, but I can still remember them, you know. Um, and then map reading. I can never get lost in Barbados. I can never. Juke has taught me not to get lost in Barbados. I can't get lost
Hmm.
But
because once you
But he's never say lost. You get temporarily misplaced.
Misplaced.
exactly
Just temporarily
right,
misplaced. You're never lost.
map reading. Map reading is a very important skill to have. Everybody should have it, and in doing that, that helps you to orient when I drive around in the country and so on. It's like, okay, I know out here, I've seen out here people like, coffee gully. Yes, I know a coffee gully. What do you mean? You know this place? Yeah, I know that place. How you know these places? Because I was in the Jew. Plain and simple. And it also teaches discipline and stickability, getting to the end,
Hmm.
finishing what you started. There's no way that you should start something and not finish. Jude teaches us that, and I remember we were hiking once in St. Thomas. Like we just come out of Jack in the Box, and one of the members of our group, I'll just call her V, and who knows, sat down in the middle of a field and said, "I am not going any further. I am tired. I am moving from here." And we were like, "But we have to go." All the while now, because you're really competitive. It's like all these groups and we trying to get to that location first. We're like, look, we losing time. For about 20 minutes we were sitting there trying to convince her why she should continue. And then, we coerced her and she went on and stuff like that. And I know she was happy that she finished the hike and so on. It was quite interesting seeing us out there in the middle of nowhere begging her to get up because she was tired. But we were like, no, we started this, so we're going to finish
All the way to the end.
all the way
Not the
to
way
the
to
end,
be.
all the way to the Allen school end, all the way.
Okay, well, now that brings up a couple of interesting talking points now. So, I just had a question from the audience for everybody. I guess you can all, discuss it. So, what is, in your opinion, the best camp meal?
Roast breadfruit.
Yeah. Yep. And I know exactly what
Oh,
Jamar talking
that
about.
that's okay. Honestly, macaroni and tuna. Macaroni and tuna. And
At
I
least,
always remember. Go ahead.
no, I was saying at least no one said ramen.
You
Hallelujah.
know?
What you said?
All right.
Ramen?
Ramen.
That no one said ramen.
No. I thought you said ramen. No, some good Catelli macaroni with some tuna. I remember those days. Well, we had two chefs, two budding chefs in the group. Patricia and Sharon, and everybody wanted to be in their group because they walked with condiments in their backpack. They actually had condiments in their backpack, and everybody wanted to be in their group because it was like they would take over the cooking. We would start the fire and stuff, and then we would do the washing up, but they would do the cooking, and that led to careers for both of them. You know, as 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 chefs and in that industry. So I mean, again, juke because it would have started there. Taste it. Tell me what it needs. Is it too salty? Does it need more salt? Does it need more pepper? Things like that. And it went on that way till it led them to onto the path that they're on now. So again, juke, you can attribute it to that.
Nice.
All right. This one might be a bit fun. Um, any mantras that you have from Juke?
Haha. Last close, more food.
Jamar, boy, you had to steal the one I was gonna say. Last close, more food. I remember there was me and Chad were going up a hill, and we sang "Dig a Tunnel" from the Lion King all the way up this hill. Everybody singing "Dig a tunnel, dig a tunnel, dig a tunnel," all the way up this hill, all the way up the hill.
Nah,
So every time,
none can beat together be hiking though.
it's true. It's true. You remember when we made Roll It the cast song for 2013? That song.
Good times.
Very good.
Yep,
Thanks.
good times.
All right.
Well,
Okay.
we didn't see if Natalie had a mantra.
Hmm.
Um, I don't really. It's just I stress the discipline part. Just get to the end. Start or finish what you started.
Okay.
Finish what you start. And that's it.
Fabian, you see that
Think
one in
and
the
and
chat?
I
and, it,
take
I
I take
do.
her.
and that's in every aspect of your life. Finish what you start, and I live by that. Once I start it, it has to be finished. I won't be satisfied until it's finished and finished well.
And of course, while Carla decides that she's going to introduce the more infamous ones, where are we?
Where are we? Where are we at? Where are we on a piece of grass?
I was just looking for a piece of grass as an emoji.
All right. Okay. So, for all that, we're all, past the level of participants. But let me ask, would you do it all again?
I would definitely do it all again. There would be nothing that could stop me from doing Duke again if I had to do it over. Definitely, and I would do it the same way with the same people in the same places. I have so many memories of camping out at Harry Smith in the old house, and we having to make sure that nobody falls through the floor because it was in such bad condition. Sleeping in the tent on the beach by Sam Lord's Castle. Um, Hanging out in St. John's Parish Church Cemetery at night.
Mhm.
Getting to St. Anne's Church in St. Joseph very, very late, and it was harvest time, so that was Easter time, and all of their fruits and stuff were at the altar and stuff like that. I mean, these are things that stick in my head. Going
Mhm.
through very dense forest area in St. Lucia and encountering a snake. Um, Hiking on Farley Hill and being so exhausted We were all look so musty. I, I have, I have pictures of it. We did look so musty and crazy, right? At that point. And we stopped at a house there in Farley Hill, and they gave us some some cold water, ice water that we would call it in Barbados, not ice water and some oranges. And that was like the sweetest thing that you could ever want when you are tired. Oranges and cold water,
Yeah,
right?
some good
We could
old
say
cold
that
water.
saved our lives. Camping at Allen School, camping at different places in St. Lucia and Grenada. Yeah, I would do it all over again, as I said, with these same people in the same places, the same very day, and at the same, yeah, same way,
And
same way.
there's just something too about locals, especially when you're out hiking and they see the big bags on your back. I think
Yeah, boy.
it's almost like they feel for you too. I remember,
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember if Dario or Fabian would have been with us. We did a hike and we came through Venture in St. John, and we passed these elderly ladies, and somehow we ended up passing by their house. So we passed them while they were walking, and we ended up passing by their house, and they offered us mangoes. We were able to pick mangoes from the tree, and then by the time we were finished, my ladies came from inside the house with a full bag of more mangoes. After we finished picking from the tree, she gave us more mangoes, and she told us that she has to give us them because if she keeps them, she's gonna eat too much at a time. And you get so much different things. You get, and as
That's
I
right.
said, sometimes it's as simple as just water. Other times it could vary.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
because I remember I was on a hike and this old lady saw, she was like, how Linka got y'all walking out with these big bikes on y'all back? Listen, come here and take them bikes off from on the back. Let me get one of some cold water. This lady went inside,
Yep.
we got ice, we got cold water. She said, hold for these cokes too. So we had coke. The woman went in the cupboard and pulled out a whole set for us on this hike.
Yep.
And
It's
we are
true. People
certainly
always would
really
share.
we're always grateful to the public at
Always.
large for assisting us whenever we are on those hikes. But it always shows that there is some generosity out there.
Yep,
Um,
definitely.
all right,
Sometimes it's even a
so
place. Oh,
Yeah, I think we were what was it, Holy Trinity one time, and there was a church function, and once they were finished, they invited us down for some food, and I think it was a supper. So it was
okay.
a belly full that night.
Mm-hmm.
Mm, fun
okay,
times.
Yep.
all right.
Sometimes.
I don't know if there are any more questions from the audience before we let the close off. Let's see. Mhm. All right. Not seeing anything at the moment. Oh boy. um, okay, so again, thank you all for joining us here tonight. And we are, if you have any questions about the award, you can always reach out via email, deiabarbados@gmail.com. Of course, if any of you had enjoyed today's session, please let us know. We may consider hosting such events again in the future, with other award alumni. But again, thank you, Dario, Jamar, and Natalie for joining us here tonight. And we hope that we can hear again from you very soon. And until next time, have a great night.
You too.
You too.
Thanks for having me, and you all have a great night as well.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Take care.
Okay.
Mhm.
Bye bye.
Bye.